I guess begin with the bombshell, because it's a bit of a bombshell. So Nigel Wright is still being cross-examined today by Mike Duffy's lawyer, Don Bain. And Mr. Bain, unusually actually, puts the police statement of someone else to this witness. Well, he sort of does. He doesn't ask him any questions about it, but he reads aloud from the police statement of Ben Perrin. Ben Perrin, in 2013, at the time of the Duffy deal, was Prime Minister Stephen Harper's lawyer, general counsel, whatever you call him. So in, I think it was February of 2014, Ben Perrin is giving a statement from his now Vancouver office to the RCMP. And he's talking about a day back in March of 2013 when Nigel Wright calls Janice Payne, who is then Mike Duffy's lawyer. Mr. Duffy does not lack for lawyers, shall we say. And the reason Nigel Wright was phoning this day is because they were really, apparently Mike Duffy yet again and Ms. Payne were resisting sort of making absolutely final this deal. They were apparently not gonna, they wanted to renege. Duffy wanted to take his chances with the independent auditor, etc., which is a position he vacillated to and from throughout the whole thing. Anyway, so Wright is phoning Duffy's then lawyer, Ms. Payne, and in the office, according to what Ben Perrin tells the RCMP, is himself, Nigel Wright, and, he says, Ray Novak. Now, Ray Novak is now the Prime Minister's Chief of Staff. He was in the PMO at the time. I can't remember what his title was. He has, to my knowledge, and as I always say on these things, I'm not a Parliament Hill reporter, so I can be mistaken. To my knowledge, Ray Novak has always denied knowing that Nigel Wright personally paid Mike Duffy's expenses back. This day, while they're getting ready to make the phone call, Ben Perrin says he was warning Mr. Wright that it was going to be a difficult call because both the lawyer and Mr. Duffy had their backs up again. They were all feeling righteous. They didn't want to go through with this deal. So he tells Mr. Wright, that kind of gives him a heads up. And according to Perrin, what Wright says is, Mike Duffy is going to repay because I'm giving him the funds to repay out of my pocket. And Perrin says that in the room to hear that was Ray Novak. Ray Novak, who isn't going to be called as a witness at this trial, apparently has always said publicly he didn't know. And the reason I guess it's so important is that because if it were to be true, if Ray Novak was in that room and did hear Nigel Wright say that, it puts the Prime Minister potentially one big step closer to being a bit really compromised by this. Makes it look like if his longtime associate and friend Ray Novak knew, and Nigel Wright, his Chief of Staff, knew, and Ben Perrin, his lawyer, knew that Nigel Wright was repaying personally this bill, how could the Prime Minister not know? So anyway, by the time you watch this, this will be parsed 3,000 million ways by people who are better informed than me, and perhaps they will make more sense of it.